Hello all. So welcome to the solution of the first Wi-Fi security challenge, which was named "There is no patch for stupidity." So I guess all of you had a lot of fun, and I was really happy to see so many responses. So let's quickly look at what the challenge was, right? So there were two encrypted packets. One was the challenge response part of the shared key authentication, and the other was a data packet, both encrypted using web. And what I really wanted you to do was to decrypt that data packet, right? Now, what you may have noticed is that various conventional tools like AirCrack-NG may start to complain that there are very few IVs present, right? And hence it might not be possible to crack the web key. So here is the big question: is it even theoretically possible to crack the web key using just one data packet? So let's explore that first. So let's go back to when we discussed web, back to the drawing board, as they say. And this is the part where I'm showing you how to decrypt a web packet. And if you remember, the receiver has the message which contains the ciphertext and the initialization vector. Then he uses the IV as well as the web key as seed to the RC4 algorithm, which finally produces the key stream with which the receiver XORs the ciphertext and get back the plain text. Now when that happens, the receiver also checks the ICV and whether the integrity algorithm check is actually passing for the received packet. Now this is where what we really want to do is, well, we have the ciphertext, we have the initialization vector, we don't have the web key. So here is a simple possibility that if we try various web keys and whenever we end up getting the right web key, then what we would notice is that the ICV would actually match after the packet is decrypted, right? And this would be the check to find out which is the valid web key. So as many of you have already guessed, definitely there has to be some sort of a brute force or a dictionary attack. Now, even though the brute force dictionary attack on web has been discussed multiple times in many papers, I've seen that overall penetration testers do not really use this idea much. And the reason is because AirCrack-NG has spoiled you all. And everyone expects that, we need these 20-30,000 packets. We have to use our preplay and all of these tools after you've seen hundreds of videos on YouTube. And when you just have one web packet, it just baffles many of us. Anyway, this is where I had given some more hints. First, I had told you in the beginning, it's a simple challenge. It's not going to be very tricky. Everything you need is available on VT4. And later on, I had also posted a little hint which said the store owner uses short, easy to guess Facebook passwords, right? And the reason I called this challenge "There is no patch for stupidity" is that typically this is used wherever there is human error or mistake. And in this case, what I meant by that is a very short and easy to guess web key would be used. Now, a little twister here, and that was actually that the whole shared key authentication exchange part did not have much of a role to play. That was just to confuse you and take you off track, so that you would end up just thinking I have to use the decrypted XOR stream somehow or the other. So what we are going to do right now is, let's crack this solution, the challenge, and then we'll come back to the slides. So basically what we had was this challenge packet, challenge trace file, and this actually contained the authentication challenge plain text, the response which is encrypted, and then finally the data packet, right? All of which is currently encrypted, as you can clearly see, using web. Now, I had mentioned that basically everything you require is there, and it's an easy to guess password, which would mean typically it's a dictionary attack. So let's look at all of the dictionaries which are available on Backtrack. At least some of them, at least to my knowledge, uh, are typically available in the pentest passwords, and then you have something called word lists inside this, right? Now there are multiple word lists here. Of course you would have to try all of these for the challenge, but to kind of do this quickly, I would open up this list, which is a little bit interesting. Right, and we are going to be using this as the different web keys which a person could be using. Now if you kind of look at this file, you would notice that there are a lot of possibilities, and at the very same time, as you start moving further, you may even notice a lot of control characters and things like that, which may be there, right? Printable, unprintable characters. There's a huge mix of various possibilities. Now here comes in the second part. I said easy to guess and short. So if you remember, typically in web you could either use a 5 or a 13 character passphrase which would be mapped to the web key in hex, and of course you would have to probably try both, but as a low hanging fruit ideally you would want to try 5, right? Some string which is 5 characters long and which is going to serve as the web key. Now if you notice, there is a lot of text here which definitely is more than 5 characters, and hence here is what we will do. Once again, small trick, we will scan through this entire file and choose words only which are 5 characters long, right? Point number 1. Point number 2, if you notice, there are also a lot of words, as you may kind of see nearer to the end of the file, which contain some printable and some unprintable characters. Now what we will do is, if any word contains printable as well as unprintable characters, we'll remove the unprintable characters and just take the printable part. Why? Well, to be honest, it may be possible that someone as naive as the store owner we were talking about might not use something very complicated, and he might just use part of that phrase minus the unprintable characters. So what we are going to do is, we're going to scan through this file, take all the 5 character passphrases first, and then what we will do is scan through it once again and look at all the words which have 5 plus something additional, which could be unprintable or non-alphanumeric, and what we will do is we will remove all of those. That way we'll have a larger word list to attack when we are talking about just 5 characters than the default one available here. So as I had mentioned, we need to create a very simple script to do this. At the very same time, the tool we will use instead of aircrack-ng, which as most of you may have noticed, fails almost immediately when you give it the input, right? Kind of go through the entire process if you want, but you would notice it would not be able to crack it. So what we will actually use instead of that is air-decap-ng, which I had also mentioned a little bit using various hints which I had given. So this is what we have to use, and here is where we are finding another big problem. See, what we have here is actually a word list, but what air-decap-ng actually accepts is one web key, but all of that in hex, which actually means we need a wrapper around this utility. So this is what we've done, very simple script which I've created in Python, and all it does is it opens up the, it goes ahead and opens up the password file, then it reads every line, and then after that it goes ahead and only takes those passphrases which go ahead and match our pattern for alphanumeric possibilities. This is typically done using regular expressions, and after that it checks whether the size is 5 or not, because as we mentioned, the first thing we would like to try is 5, maybe 13 later. And if it is not 5, well, the loop just continues and it goes ahead to find the next word in the password list. If it is 5, it goes ahead and creates the hex equivalent of that string. This can be done by using various utilities in different languages. In Python, you can use the bin ASCII module, in which you have the hexlify method. Now after that, it just prints on the screen saying trying with web key, prints the web key as a string as well as in hex, and then all it does is actually it is about to spawn airdcap-ng by giving it the hex key as the input and the challenge pcap file as input. Now here is a small modification. If you remember from previous videos, airdcap-ng will give us an output which would tell us whether the web packets were decrypted successfully or not, and it would also give us a count of those packets, right? So as an example, let me just show you how this would look like in a typical case. So let's say we have airdcap-ng and I go ahead and feed it some arbitrary web key, right? And after that, I go ahead and feed it the challenge file, and you would notice the output which it gives us is, well, total number of web data packets is 1, but total number of decrypted web packets is 0, right? So what we are trying to do is, every time we call airdcap-ng, we actually want to parse this output inside our program, and what we are concerned with is actually the fifth line, if you notice, of the output. Now if this fifth line has a 1 in it, that actually means decryption succeeded, because we know that there is only one real data packet in that trace file. And this is where now what we do is, we go ahead in our program, we run airdcap-ng for each passphrase which we are picking up from the dictionary, and then we take the output and go ahead and take the fifth line of the output, and in that fifth line we simply go ahead and check if 1 is present as part of the string. If it is present, we assume the web key was cracked and we go ahead and print out the web key, right? This is all we have to do here. So now let's go ahead and do a quick demo. We'll have the demo running. Let's go ahead, give it the file, right? And if you kind of quickly go back here and you look at the source code, what we've actually done is we've already hard-coded the pcap file, which you can also give as input if you'd like. And now let's do the following. Let's begin the cracking. So if you notice, our little script is now trying out all of these different web keys which it is picking up from the dictionary, and then trying it. And if you notice, it's parsing the output, probably seeing the 0 in the output, and it is just going ahead and trying out the next one, right? So currently it should be able to only see a 0. So let's allow this to continue, and while this is happening, let's go back to our presentation. This would take some time, at least 2 to 3 minutes, I'm very sure, by the time it finishes cracking. So let's go back to our presentation till then. So what are the misconceptions we are trying to debunk in this video? The first thing is, everywhere, most places, various forums, all people talk about when they think about web cracking is that we need a lot of packets, we need a couple of thousand packets, and then we are going to use AirReplay, AirCrack-ng, and that is the only way we can crack web. Big misconception, right? Because of the way symmetric key cryptography works, it is very simple to actually try and break it using a brute force or a dictionary attack. And as far as a dictionary attack is concerned, we will notice in a later video that WPA2 Personal Edition, which is PSK, is a major candidate for dictionary attacks, right? Also, the other big misconception people have is that we have to use AirCrackNG and Air Replay if you want to crack web. Not true at all. You could still be able to do it with a lot of other tools and utilities. If you look at the comments which were posted, Joshua Wright, who's a very well-known researcher, has pointed out aptly that there are a lot of other very good tools available which can be used to your advantage in different circumstances, right? And the major thing I want to drive home today is tools are to assist your work. They are not to cripple your thinking, right? Do not be limited by the tools you have. You should only be limited by as far as you can imagine. Anyway, next slide. So, what is basically the solution we have discussed and which is kind of running parallelly? Well, we knew that the web key typically would either be a 40-bit or 104-bit. Of course, you have the 24-bit IV to add to it as well, which would mean 5 or 13 characters. Now, based on the hints, it is very obvious that because there is no cryptographic attack available right now which can crack the web key simply using one data packet, this has to be a brute force or dictionary based attack. Now, I would not want to waste your time with a brute force attack unless it is very simple, or even those 5 characters are just alphabets from the English language and not even numbers are included. So it was quite logical to probably assume that a dictionary attack is more probable. So ideally what you would have done is you would have started with 5, tried it out. If you had failed, you would have gone to 13. One trick, a little trick which I used here, because what I thought is a lot of people would try the ready-made dictionary, is actually to go ahead and sanitize the dictionary a little bit and probably use a lot more words from the dictionary by removing some of the unprintable characters. Now, of course, the point remains that after the removal, they might not be the most common phrases or words people use. So, point well taken, regardless. And one another key thing is we wrote a script around AirDecapNG. So as I said, we should never be limited by our tools. We should only be limited by our imagination. And this is where the key takeaways and lessons learned in challenge 1 is web can be cracked even with one packet. It is possible provided the web key is based on some sort of a weak dictionary based word. Second, as I said, important to note, every penetration test is different, and hence it is generally a good idea to go in with an open mind and never be straitjacketed thinking that one problem can only be solved in one particular way, which is web can only be broken if you have large number of data packets available. As I already mentioned also, sole reliance on tools is absolutely bad and frowned upon. You should slowly cultivate the habit of either writing your own tools or at least writing small wrappers around tools to do various interesting things. And last but not the least, a lot of you I had seen in the comments had mentioned that because there is scripting involved, well, we are going to kind of give up. My recommendation and advice to you is it's never to learn to start with scripting. Start with languages which are much more fun and easy to quickly learn, like Python or Ruby, and then probably move up the chain, try assembly, C, and many of these other languages. But scripting is very important as a hacker, as a security researcher, or even as an engineer. Why? Because a lot of times you may have interesting ideas on what to do with technology from a hacking, cracking, or purely from a security perspective. And you would want to try out all of these ideas immediately. And the only way you could, if either one, there is a tool already available, which might not be the case if you're thinking about something which is very bleeding edge. Only other possibility is you code your own. And this is why programming is very important. So before we move on to the next challenge, let's get back here. So as we are seeing currently uh, that the cracking is still going on. Now I'll tell you what I had done while the cracking is still on. I had just gone ahead and used the web key as almost the last passphrase minus the control characters uh, which are there in the word list. Right, so I had actually used TUDES as the web key, and I knew that most people might just hit a control C while trying the dictionary attack after a couple of minutes. Anyway, let's come back here and let's wait till we become eventually successful. So while this is happening, once again, I cannot stress enough, never give up. A lot of times you're very close to the solution. Many people early in their comments had actually pointed out that, well, this is going to be a brute force or a dictionary attack. Great, absolutely on track. But the point is, you have to go to the finish line, right? It's not sufficient by saying, well, this is the technique, you'll have to go to the finish line. And I can tell you, you'll have a lot more satisfaction once you hit the finish line. So this challenge was not very difficult, apart from the last part where little amount of scripting was involved. And I would actually say that from here on, the challenges will get more competitive and difficult. So hope you'll enjoy it. I'm just hoping the cracking would finish. I guess all of you are also waiting. And it's been a long day today for many of you, and I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and try and crack this. I can tell you the best way to learn is to try all these little challenges, because people who may have taken this challenge very seriously would have really gone through the videos or other courses or other texts, try out a lot of new things, and in the process you end up learning a lot more than just by watching me doing something or just repeating that yourself. So I am going to come out with more and more challenges. So here is our little good news. If you notice, success web key found, TUDES, right? And this was the last thing which was tried. Awesome. Pond. So let's go back to our presentation. So what is going to be the next challenge? Well, it's almost midnight here. So I'm going to sit down and create the new challenge. But what I saw was there were a lot of complaints where people said we only have one web packet, we need more packets. So in the next challenge, I'm going to give you thousands of web packets. And the challenge would be that you need to crack the web key with all of those packets. I can assure you there are more than sufficient packets in the trace file that aircrackng can crack it. However, there will be a twist. The twist is something called web cloaking. I will be embedding both of these links as well. So think of this as a homework. I haven't taken that topic up formally in my video series. And have a look and let's see if you can crack the next challenge. So that's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.